welcome to Prudent Media News. First, we take a look at the headlines. Russian tourists outnumber British tourists in Goa. Steep rise in Russian tourists in the past 2 years touched 1,34,000 mark. Golden Jubilee Council says Goa does not need multiple anti-corruption agencies. Discontinue Vigilance Department once Lokayukta enforced. Recommends Magarpatta model of land acquisition in Goa. Reduction in entry fee and raising license fee boosts casino revenue in Kitty by almost 50%. Does steep revenue rise hint more footfalls towards casinos? Watch this report. And Goa Football Association mulling over rule for compulsory transfer fee. Bigger clubs will have to play smaller clubs for absorbing talent from the local growing scene, says Elvis Gopes. And now the news in detail. The number of Russian tourists in the state is on rise, unlike British tourists. Earlier, the count of British tourists was around 50 to 60% and Russians were almost half of it. However, from the last 2 years, the Russian tourists have seen a huge rise. Last year, 1,17,000 British tourists visited the state, whereas Russian tourists touched 1,34,000 mark. Watch this report.
Fathoda MLA Vijay Sardesai had raised this question in the State Assembly. Tourism Minister Dilip Parlekar's reply says, 4,52,000 international tourists visited the state last year. Tourists from almost 50 countries have visited the state. Record state, of 4,52,000, 2,50,000, that's almost 60%, are British and Russians. However, Russians have outnumbered the British in past couple of years. Have a look. In the year 2005-2006, British 1,25,188, Russians 27,333. 2006-2007, British 1,08,427, Russian 33,992. 2007-2008, 1,06,664 British, 42,690 Russians. 2008-2009, 77,500 British, 44,130 Russians. 2009-2010, 52,296 British, 59,803 Russians. 2011-12, 1,17,942 British, 1,33,999 Russians. Russians and Israelis are on the top list for drug and flesh trade activities. Tourism Department says tourists from Southeast Asian countries, Nordic countries and USA are generally high spending than the rest ones. The category of lakhs of Russian tourists flocking Goan beaches is still a question mark. Bureau Report, Prudent Media.
A small state like Goa does not require multiple anti-corruption agencies. Citing this reason, the Golden Jubilee Council, headed by Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, has advised the government to discontinue with the State Vigilance Directorate once the Lokayukta is set up. The council has also asked the government to seriously consider a Magarpatta type model of land acquisition for Goa.
Goa Golden Jubilee Development Council, headed by Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, recently submitted its 111 pages draft Goa Vision Document 2035 to the Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar. The document is open for a public debate for next 2 months. While receiving the governance in the state, the council has considered the proposed state Lokayukta and its provision vis-a-vis the State Vigilance Directorate. There are provisions in Lokayukta Bill which contradict the State Vigilance Directorate. A small state like Goa does not require multiple anti-corruption agencies. It would be advisable to discontinue with State Vigilance Directorate once Goa Lokayukta is set up. The council has also reviewed government's and acquisition policy. In Magarpatta type of model, the individuals and the families can get together to pool their land into a company and each family can obtain share equal to size of their land holding. These landholders get priority in the employment and bidding contracts for developmental works. GJ Council on Land Acquisition says, Government should seriously consider a Magarpatta type model of land acquisition for Goa. Magarpatta model. Ownership of large fraction of land lies with original holders of land. Individuals, families can get together to pool their land into a company. Each family can obtain shares equal to size of their land holding. Landholders get priority in employment in company and priority to locals in bidding contracts for developmental works. Bureau Report, Prudent Media.
The decision of the Parikar government to reduce the entry fee in casinos and raising the license fee and entertainment tax is yielding more revenue. The first quarter of the financial year has shown a steep rise in the revenue from the entry fee on casinos by almost 50%. Now the question is, has the government's fee relaxation tactic encouraged more footfalls on the casinos? Watch this report.
The entry fee in casinos has been reduced from 2,000 rupees to 500. The tax recovery after reducing entry fee in casinos has seen a steep rise in the first quarter of the current fiscal. The recovery in corresponding quarters of the current and the past year reveals it's almost 45 to 50% more this time. The reduction in entry fee and increase in entertainment tax on casinos by 50% has also resulted in significant increase in tax collection. Have a look. The financial implications on the state after the increase in license fee on casino is: the 11 casinos in Goa have generated an employment of almost 2,500 for Goans and the non-Goans. There are in total 2,423 people working on and offshore casinos, out of which 1,594 are Goans and 829 are non-Goans. The statistics from the Commercial Tax Department has probably proved Chief Minister Manohar Parikar's arithmetic right, but the hue and cry by NGOs over social impact of casinos remains unanswered. Bureau Report, Prudent Media.
It's time now for a short break. Stay tuned.